And it's a privilege to be here to present at the MRSI seminar. I've been hearing from morning of research methodologies and excellent work done by all of you. Let me take you to a world which is a media world, very different from the world that you've been seeing so far. So our paper for today is Method Behind the Madness, the Videoverse. So let me begin by giving you an instance. So let's take the case of Aditi, a 25-year-old girl from Delhi. Her day begins the minute she wakes up in the morning and she reaches for her phone to go through reels, and that's, mind you, even before she's gotten out of the bed. Post that, during travel to work, in the metro, she scrolls a webinar and watches it on the phone. Later, whenever she gets break, she goes back to her phone and she scrolls reels, she goes through trending content, and she gets her dope of dopamine. Back at dinner time, she's with her family, watching content on TV and bonding with them over their favorite soap. And at night, she's back on her laptop, binging over her favorite K-drama content. Same viewer, same Aditi, many worlds. And that's the paradox that we want to talk about today. So if you look at the Videoverse today, it's both collective and personal, ritual and freedom. And this is not just the story of screens, this is the transformation that we see today, a belonging and an upgradation story. So welcome to the Videoverse. So can you give me a show of hands for people who've engaged with more than one screen yesterday, either to watch content or to watch a movie? I'm sure the majority of you, as you raise your hand here, tells us that that's the beginning of a transformation. And that's exactly the paradox that we're talking about. So while for the viewer, it's a seamless world of video, but for us as broadcasters, as marketeers, and as researchers, it's a fractured puzzle. Each platform in the Videoverse speaks a different language and has a different measurement system. So you've got ratings for TV, you've got impressions for digital, and you've got views for reels. But what we need today is a hybrid and lens that can measure all of it together. And that's what we're here to present to you about. So what's very interesting to note is that if you look at the average attention span of a viewer today, it's less than that of a goldfish at 8.25 seconds. And a viewer doesn't spend more than 1.7 seconds on a video before they decide to engage or to move out. So how do you really connect, with an audience that's across mediums? So let me start by taking to a very interesting observation, which is there's a format explosion if you look at Videoverse today, and I'm sure all of you know this. I mean, you've got daily soaps, you've got webisodes, you've got original web series, reels, movies, microdrama. I mean, there's so much to choose from, and that gives rise to the dopamine culture, where people are seeking instant gratification, mostly at the expense of depth and quality. If you look at the chart on the right, which is a very interesting research, it tells you the three parts of the culture that we operate in today. One is the slow traditional culture, the second is the fast modern culture, and the third is the dopamine culture. So to give you an example, if you had to look at athletics, so a slow traditional culture will be playing a sport. A fast modern culture is watching a sport. And if you look at dopamine culture, which we see today, it's about gambling on sport. Likewise, if you look at relationships, it used to be about courtship and marriage. Modern culture is sexual freedom, and dopamine culture is swiping on an app. So that brings us to the key questions for the Videoverse today.
Before I kind of take that on, I just want to kind of, my research head, my research head, I kind of represent Chrome Plus Global, which is a research agency partnering with, Zee on this particular research project. So my research head was supposed to kind of come in, and I had to step in the morning because there was this lightning which happened at the Raipur airport, and it struck the ATS system, and therefore because of that, there was disruption in the flights. So I'm stepping in, and therefore I would like to kind of again, kind of apologize to the fact that I'll probably be using the script because I just got to know that I have to make the presentation today. Okay, so please bear with me and excuse me for that particular bit of thing. So having said that, what Rashmi said, that what really is the research objective. So we set ourselves this clear mandate to decode and decipher the Indian Videoverse and all its complexity. And I have to kind of share one thing beyond this is that whenever a research project we're kind of engaging and talking to the brands, the one key question that everybody is asking really is, how do I kind of really assess the impact of cumulative measurement of data which is going in diagnostic, which is across various platforms. That's one question every advertiser, marketer really wants to understand. I get simple questions like saying, for which particular brand should I only use CTV, which is connected TV, which is, the cord cutter way of kind of, watching a television, which I should buy, only linear, or where I should buy both of them. So this is a very critical question, and I think this particular research will help us to kind of respond and answer to that. Okay, so the first thing is, the big question guiding really us on this research is, what is the true size and shape of India's video consumption landscape? What really is the true, size of that? Second, how fast are viewers shifting between linear and digital, between linear TV and connected TV, between free and paid, and between AVOD to SVOD. So who really are these cord cutters and these cord lovers, and where are the audiences really kind of, residing in? The third objective of this particular research was, how are the mediums evolving? So is TV, alive while digital grows? So contrary to belief, people kind of wonder that TV probably is dying and digital is the one which is really the, the flavor, and that's all people are watching all their content and, there. The answer is a clear yes. In fact, people are spending 51 minutes more per day on television than they did 2 years ago. So TV definitely is not dying, but probably the format of way people are viewing it is maybe changing. So that probably research will also help us to answer. Fourth objective is to do perception and needs change with the medium. Is TV about family? So when people are watching TV with family, what kind of genres are they watching? What is the mindset they're watching in? While digital is probably about convenience of watching, you can watch anytime, wherever you want to at your free will. And maybe social is about immediacy. You want to know the answer, responses, views, content at the same time. So you don't have to kind of wait for it. So what really is a velocity of shift between linear and digital, and linear to CTV is what probably the research will help us to kind of answer and address. And finally, the most important question of all is, why are viewers shifting screens the way they are? Why are they moving one to the other? Why are they not sticking to one particular one? Because without the why, the data is just like that. So that's what probably the research is about. Yeah, Rashmi.
So how do I go back? Yeah. So the future is not platform versus platform. It's platform plus platform, and engaging and planning for a video for an audience who seamlessly scrolls through TV, through digital, through SVOD, through OTT. And hence the need for us for a market, for a media industry today is a unified score which gives us, how the same viewer is viewing content across platforms.
Yeah. So in fact, this research is not only going to be used by a particular kind of a stakeholder or people, but it's actually used for many people for whom content is a very, very critical aspect. So first is for content creators. This means reimagining engagement, building omni-channel strategies and follow the audience as they move across mediums. Probably have different strategies across various platforms that they're kind of creating content for. This will help them to really understand better and strategize better. The second is for marketers. It means moving beyond fragmented KPIs to precision profiling, smart targeting, and data-powered storytelling. So you have data to be able to kind of ensure that whatever story you're telling, in which format it's telling, how can you differentiate, can you kind of change that. The third is for distributors. It means shaping smarter investment strategies, identifying white spaces early and capitalizing on them. So it is all about building strategies that win with the audiences, wherever they choose to be, and they are platform agnostic.
Right. So one of the biggest outcomes for us as a media company is getting the size and estimation by the viewer cohorts. So if I explain this chart to you, on your extreme left are cord lovers, or people who are still with traditional TV. On your extreme right are people who are cord cutters who moved out of television and are only on digital. And the mass expense that you see in between are the end consumers, who are more than 60% of the video viewers today. To this, if you add the complication of free and paid subscription within TV and digital, it gives you unique viewer combinations, and all those viewer combinations are seeking different payoffs or need states from entertainment. And for us at Zee, it means that you need to strategize very differently. So for instance, if you had to look at the cord lovers or the traditional TV people, the strategy will be to increase the FTA market share, and for hybrid, it will be about growing market share among the hybrid viewers. If you look at the revenue story, we realize that all the platforms are in fact chasing only true metrics. One is what is the time spent on entertainment, which is the share of time, and the other is the share of the entertainment wallet. So the question is really not how big is the audience, but what is my share in terms of the time and wallet and on which platform?
Yeah. So, yeah. So talking devices, discussions around linear TV, audiences are gradually shifting to CTV. I think that's one of the very critical question and a very popular question or piece of conversation in any kind of marketing meeting that they have with their advertising and media agencies, is to whether, what decline of linear TV to, growth of CTV. Is it because of the rising cost of subscriptions, the layer of greater choice and flexibility on digital, or was it simply about convenience where they can watch it at their own good time, or streaming on a personal screen anytime, anywhere? So here's the interesting part. It is not always a story of leaving people are not leaving television, but it's often a story of upgrading, watching content on television. That's the story, and that's the objective. So many households aren't cutting cord entirely. A lot of people are a hybrid household. They're watching it through their pay TV, cable operator channel format, but they're also kind of moving on to connected TV. So they're watching it both formats. So it gives them the best of both the worlds, the comfort of the big screen combined with flexibility of the digital.
So what it also tells you, the study is not just about numbers. It's also about the why behind the numbers, the needs and perception by each medium. So if you look at TV, it's about being familiar. It's about having trustworthy content. If you look at YouTube, it's about convenience, being available anytime, anywhere. Social media is for trending content, and S4 is for exclusive and international content. And this is a very important slide for us. For any media company, the backbone of any media company is the green lighting process for content. And what the study gives you is the content into medium fit for deciding the content. Erstwhile, it used to always be about instincts and it used to be about past trends. But what you see here is that you really know which content to use where. So if it's a family-related content, maybe it will be TV. If it's crime, it's digital. So it brings a science to the whole process.
Yep. Very cool. So to do this, we needed more than a dipstick. I mean, it cannot be, understanding this vast kind of, input without really doing a very, very robust and extensive study. So we undertook one of the most ambitious studies in India. We're excited and passionate about that. We spoke to 300,000 households. Now, these household panels are actually incubated within our system, within our research company, wherein we actually collect a lot of passive data. So we're able to, we know exactly as to in the 300,000 household amongst the individuals, where are they consuming the content from? Which particular, platform they kind of consuming it and how long are they consuming it for? Then we also spoke to 20,000 in-person interviews. Entire research is in process. 145,000 users tracked passively, spread across 780 districts, covering urban to rural, tier 1 to tier 4 towns, and major linguistic zones. So anywhere, for any kind of behavioral pattern one has to understand across the country, across geographies, across demographics, I think research will be able to respond and answer to that very impactfully. So this wasn't just about size, it was about building a single representative view of India's evolving video consumer. A cumulative impact of putting your campaign or your content across various formats. What is that? Is something that this research will help us to kind of respond and answer to that.
Right. And I would like to end this session with some quick thoughts. I mean, if you look at the trends today, 9 out of 10 Indians today are hybrid consumers. If you look at a videoverse, there are in fact 2 Indias that sits within it. There are the 100 million TV under-penetrated homes, and then there are the digitally affluent cord cutters, each with their own realities. The third one is that connected TV is fast growing. It's growing in terms of share and wallet, as it offers the benefit of both TV and digital. And the final point being that the viewers really don't live in the TV and digital world. They live in the world of TV plus digital plus SWOT plus YouTube plus AVOD. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.